It's so enjoyable to sit up here and see what comes. This such a beautiful part of the day here when the sun is setting. As you can see, it's quite bright over there. Oh, and now there's a band playing. They do love their brass bands here. Oh my god, it's going to get really loud. Anyway, let's see how we go here. It's funny, you know, I turn on the camera and I never know what I'm going to say. Just have to wait because nothing knows what it's going to say, because there isn't actually anything to know, because all that is already here. What can you say about that? What can you say about what's already here, except for it's already here? Oh, I think this is a bad connection. Maybe I'll move back a bit, because my walls in this house are so thick. Let's see how that works. Oh well. It's a very bad connection. Last time it seemed to work okay. So that's why I think speakers don't have anything prepared, you know, on non-duality. I mean, how can you prepare to talk about what is? What would you prepare? Because it's self-evident. It's self-evident that all there is holding an iPad, looking at the utterly beautiful mountains, sound of the car, and feeling of the body sitting on a seat. How can you find what already is? And yet there is absolutely incessant looking for it. It's an incessant drive, looking for something, looking for freedom, when what already is freedom. So it's Haiwa. Can't really answer many questions, because honestly the questions just pop up and disappear, and I don't touch any buttons on this because I actually don't know what I'm doing on the iPad. It's just it's kind of new to me using the iPad for this. And the questions, when there are questions, they always seem to be about, oh yeah. They're brewing up for another festival here. There's endless festivals, Jesus festivals, endless. They love it. They love it. Bands, fireworks. So all the questions that come are normally about how do I find this? Or personal questions. And personal questions can't be answered by what has been spoken of here. They're just personal questions. Oh my god. That sun is golden. Beautiful. Like somebody wrote to me the other day. And said, what use is non-duality if it can't help anybody? Well, this message is not for the person. It's not therapy. This is not a therapy. This is not something about the story of the person evolving and feeling better and all that. This is so beyond that. There's nothing wrong with anything in appearance. Nothing wrong with going to therapy, making the appearance feel better. Nothing wrong in that at all. You know, it's like, for instance, I filter my tap water because I want to have better water. It's not about, you know, when there is no sense of a centre, it doesn't mean that the appearance can't improve or be made better somehow, you know, eating better food or drinking better water, or like, it's really hot here at the moment, so I have a fan on quite a lot of the time. That makes the life more comfortable. And the same with therapies, but this is not a therapy. This is not about making the appearance better. This is speaking about the utter wonder and mystery of life as it is. The perfection of life not being able to be anything else but what it is, right here. Right here. You know, I'm showing a picture of the sunset because everybody loves the sunset. I mean, who doesn't love the sunset? You know, I could be just holding the video showing a pile of garbage. And that is utter perfection as well. A pile of garbage can't be anything but a pile of garbage. It's life as it is. But you know, as humans, Hi, Mansour. Tiny little box pops up at the bottom, and I haven't got my glasses on, so I have to really strain my eyes to see. I think sometimes in non-duality there can be, I think what can happen is that it can be made into a concept. Oh, thank you. I prefer the moon. Yeah, there's no moon out at the moment. Maybe I'll do a moonlight one once we have a full moon. Can't remember what I was saying now. Yeah, what happens is, I mean, we call it non-duality as a kind of a label for what's been spoken about. But what is not non-duality. What is life or aliveness just happening. Hi there. What's that? Pav in there. Sorry, I can't read your name properly. It's the smallest writing. So this is not a thing called non-duality. Non-duality is not a teaching. It's not something solid. But what is common in all the speakers is that they're all talking about the obvious. And it's nothing that is in the speakers, and it's nothing that the speakers are not in a state. There's no one here in a state of non-duality. There is no such thing. When that sense of self is not there, there is no state There is nothing that feels at peace or is at peace. There is only peace, even when there's chaos. Even when there's not peace, it is peace. And it is beyond comprehension. This peace can't be known, it just is. The same as the mountain just is. The voice just is. The listening just is. And none of it is separate. It's all the one life, simultaneously just bursting into existence, as it were. And no words that I say can adequately. This is the land of scooters. No words that I say can adequately describe life appearing without looking for it. Because really that's the only difference, if there is a difference. There is no difference, really, between a human apparently having something they call me and a human apparently not having something they call me. The only difference is there's just not looking for anything. There's not a sense of somebody that is looking. It's just the end of that. The end of needing to know or wanting to know. All that's left is the utter simplicity of this life. Whatever that is. Absolute mystery. And it is not joyous for the person, but it is joyous. It is joyous. But it's also very ordinary. So impossible to put into words. I often find that some people really get into who's the right speaker, who's the wrong speaker, this speaker, that speaker. If you get too much into that, you know, what is being spoken of is missed. It's missed. It takes it into a kind of conceptual thing of what is non-duality. Well, there is no non-duality. There's only sitting in a room, listening to this voice, feeling hot or cold or hungry or thirsty, or watching the picture of the mountains or looking out of your window or whatever. You can't conceptualize what is, because then that just becomes another ingredient in the soup of life. But it's all the one soup, you know, with lots of ingredients called mountains and heat and birds and whatever else is appearing. You know, there's no right speaker, there's no wrong speaker. There are no speakers. It's just a kind of groove that some people get into, you know. Sorry about the wobble, I'm trying to hold it still and got nothing to lean on. Can there be seeking without a sense of self? No, I don't think so. The self is seeking. It's a sense of contracted energy in the body that feels like it's somebody and is separate from somehow what it knows to be wholeness or peace or home So that inevitably leads to seeking. And seeking can appear in many ways. You're seeking to feel satisfied with jobs and drugs and relationships and all that. And then there's the spiritual seeking for home. Somehow there's an innate sense, and I think that innate sense is there because what is so... It is home. It is home, because this is all there is. What is all there is. So there's that innate sense that there is something called home, which is this. And so, because that sense of self feels separate from home, it goes looking for it. And it goes through masters and teachings and methods, therapies, practices. No end to that. No end to it. It's just a treadmill. And it doesn't lead anywhere because it is life appearing as that. So it's not going anywhere. It's not leading to a future freedom or enlightenment. It is freedom appearing as a spiritual treadmill or not saying there's anything wrong in these things, because everything is perfect, but at the same time, because this is the way it comes out, and that's the way it is, it's not true. It's not true that freedom will be found through practices and masters and through so-called enlightened people, because there is no personal enlightenment. There's nothing here that's enlightened. I mean, that's just it's a kind of when you really look at it, it's an oxymoron. And if everything is free, how can someone be more free than somebody else? It's impossible. It's kind of a dead end, really, if you're looking for enlightenment. Especially in the... What's this? But things like watching a show, making sure you can eat and whatnot, isn't that something seeking? No, because that's just... if there is a seeking for some kind of freedom in there, then that's the seeking. There's some sort of feeling that I will become more whole or satisfied, or... There is no such thing as enlightenment. No, there isn't. There's nothing wrong with watching a show and having a good meal, and that's not seeking, that's just life happening. I mean, we're not made of stone, we're not lampposts, we're living humans, we're life, we're active, we love activity, we love it. Even if the activity is sitting still, it's a kind of an activity. We don't sit still for long. That's the way the human is. But if there is a feeling of I am separate, and in this activity I want to become whole, that's where the seeking is. Not in the movement towards enjoying life. There's no separate person in a dog or a cat, but they innately seek for pleasure. They go towards pleasure. There's no seeking there for wholeness. There's just moving towards pleasure. I mean, dogs are a wonderful example of looking for pleasure. They're always looking for pleasure. they're the ultimate pleasure seekers, aren't they? But there's no separate person in that dog. They're always looking for a snack or a stroke or a sleep or somewhere cool to lie down here in Spain. Or sex or something. you know, sniff about, do this, do that. So the human is the same in many ways. We go towards activity and enjoyment, mostly. There's no seeking in that. It's that feeling that I am doing it. If I do this, I will get something from it, and I will be more free, or I will be fulfilled. But looking for fulfillment in things never lasts long, because we're always on to the next thing, aren't we? That's what I've found here in years of seeking. Didn't get anywhere. Just didn't do anything. It just was actually kind of useless. When people say to me, well, you must have done something because now you're free. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not free. Thanks for the clarification. You're welcome, Wa. Well, no, I'm not free. I'm not anything. There is no I. There is no person. This person thing is a constricted happening. It's a happening that seems to happen as a child. It happens. Hi, Tangerine. I'm going to be here tomorrow as well, but it'll be more kind of active with questions, and I just really enjoy coming up here and seeing what happens. It's amazing. It's amazing how there are words even though there's nothing to actually talk about. The sun is really setting now. So gorgeous. And I'm sitting on a really uncomfortable seat. I think next time I'll get a better chair. I was walking around the other day and thinking about this reincarnation thing, because I get this asked a lot, reincarnation, and I was wondering where this belief in reincarnation arised. Who thought it up first? Who thought it up? It's a me story, reincarnation. Because there is no one to reincarnate. If there's a human, they remember some past life and that is proven and all that, then really that's just what's happening. But I was kind of thinking about where that first thought came from. And I looked at it and I thought, well, in a sense, what was I thinking about? I was thinking about burning and ash, and how it goes back into the ground and gets turned into minerals and comes back and this. And I thought, well, no, that's not true. That's not true. It's just another appearance of that's how it apparently appears, but it's not actually moving in time. But because this is all energy, everything's energy. Science is even coming to this conclusion that it's all energy. But they're also mystified about where it comes from. You can't say where it comes from. It's just such a explosion of life. But because it's always seems to be moving and changing, it is like it's reincarnating. It's like energy just kind of reincarnating in a way, but it's not reincarnating from anything that is in the past. I think that's where the problem came. It's put the idea of this unfolding flower of life which has no beginning and has no end, seems like it's keeps changing, so therefore it feels like it's kind of reincarnating, inventing itself every moment, but not in the way the Buddhists think, or Hindus and whoever else has that teaching. It's like one of those gifts, you see those gifts of those lotus flowers constantly opening without beginning and end. It's kind of a bit like that, in a way. It's constantly changing, and it's just incredible, really incredible. Such a wonder. And the wonder is missed by the looking for it. But that's also it too, and that one that's looking can't see the wonder of its own appearance. Because that's its function, is to look for the wonder. And the looking for the wonder itself is the wonder. Incredible. Well, I think that's kind of it. Unless anyone's got any very short questions, because honestly they just appear and disappear very quickly. If not, we can do that tomorrow, which is such a joy for me. I love it. It's so magical. Talking about this. How magical is that? Talking about this, birds, sunset. I'd quite like to do this on the roof. There's a better view, but my internet just doesn't stretch that far. Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining me. It's such a beauty to share this. Such a beauty. Such beauty. And it is all made of love. And I can't qualify that statement. Just giving. What a giving. Giving everything. Even giving the sense of seeking, the sense of me. Giving that. Giving even the frustration of seeking, the wanting of freedom. That is it too. Life, giving that for no real reason, no real purpose, no ultimate goal or aim. This is the goal, this is the goal, this is it. The gift. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see some of you tomorrow, hopefully. Have a lovely evening, and see you soon. Lots of love. Bye.